Welcome, businessmen, medical staff, and various piles of ash, to episode 556 of an Unearthly Podcast, streaming live on the 16th of May 2026, and featuring The Middlemen from Torchwood Miracle Day, written by John Shaban. Apologies if I got that wrong. And starring John Barrowman as Captain Jack Harkness, Eve Miles as Gwen Cooper, Kai Owens as Reese Williams, Mickey Pfeiffer as Rax Matheson, and Alex Havens as Esther Drummond. I am your host for the evening, or day in my case, Alex Fyrehart. And with me is the tech director for the night, Erin RomeoMoon Burke.
Hello.
So, Bill is not with us because they are pretty flat out with work. So, there is a chance they might show up. Especially because I didn't realize until a bit late, but we probably would have been late starting anyway. That we like the time in the Discord was set for when the US is in daylight saving time still. So it was set for us to meet up an hour after we normally would at this time of year.
Oh, wow.
So that might have bought Bill more time. We'll see. Either they'll be joining us or they won't. Normally we would do a thing if we don't have notes from the third person, we just wouldn't do it. But honestly, I was ready to go. Erin was ready to go.
Yeah.
I was like, let's just get this done. and if need be, Bill can just do a review of Shame next time. Especially because there are some things in this that I'm like, let's just talk about it now so we don't have to worry.
Yeah.
But in any case, how have your... God, it's been like 2 months now, I think, which I guess
my
to
God.
clarify, we haven't well, actually, no, it hasn't been 2. It's been like a month, I think.
We've missed
I don't think the
two, so that would be at least 4 weeks that we've missed. Maybe 5.
Yeah, because I think the last one we did, going by the birthdays, before I changed them, updated them, the last ones were like early April. So it's definitely been like a month and a bit. Is again, that was basically just down to life got in the way.
Yeah.
The last one we missed was on me because my USB hub decided to pack it in. And with me not able to be there, Bill was swamped with stuff anyway and needed sleep. So we just kind of called it. But yeah, we're here now when we're getting this one done. Yeah, how is your probably month and a half, I guess, at this rate?
I wound up losing my job back on 22nd of April, I believe. They laid us off. This is kind of a thing that they usually do when they go into contract negotiations. It's just that they had laid so many people off. Like, they had laid off like 54 people in January, and then another 22 people, which I was part of that group. So there are questions about how long the layoff will last and whatnot, whether we're going to get called back after the union contract is negotiated. We'll see. I haven't even started. I've started looking at jobs, but I haven't posted my resume or anything like that. Like, I'm comfortable. I'm in a comfortable position with my savings right now so that I can. Like, I'm not even on unemployment right now. I looked into that too, and I had a friend who wound up having to pay back a ton of money because he screwed up on his reporting for his unemployment, and I don't want that to happen to me. So it's just, I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't want to
fair.
bother with this. It's not worth the $300 a week, maybe. Most likely,
Mm,
probably a little bit over 100.
God.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
And you have to do 4 work search activities
Mm,
per week in order to get that. Like, it could be posting your
yeah.
resume to Indeed or something like that, but still.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Like, I think... I think here it might depend, because I think here you do have to be actively searching in some way, but here they're more likely to actually help you with that
Yeah.
than the US, I think, because like when I was in my early 20s and still didn't have a job yet, uh my parents took me into this sort of job placement sort of place, and I don't recall having to pay anything to use their services at all, which is nice. Um, I don't know if I'd have to now that I'm an adult, but and it was more that I was like young enough at the time that they were like, "Eh, you're fine," um, or whatever. But yeah, like I think with how unemployment works here, I think you do have to actively be looking for work unless you're on like a pension of
Mm.
some kind. Um,
Yeah, I'd rather just search for a job on my own time. And
mm.
that I've got some leads on stuff. The unfortunate thing is that I was making 27.96 an hour. And
Oh
most
wow.
jobs, yeah, most jobs I've been looking at are like 22, maybe if you get lucky, you might get 26.
Mm.
So nothing's going to make as
Yeah.
much as what I was making there, which means if they call me
Mm.
back and I have a new job, I'm going to be hard pressed to stay at the new job and not just drop it and go running back to where I was,
Yeah.
you know.
Like,
So,
yeah, that's the annoying thing about them, like purely doing that to screw people over for the union thing, because like
mhm.
otherwise, because yeah, it's like if they try to bring you back and you're like, I mean, the silver lining that I would hope for you is that you find somewhere that actually pays more,
Mhm.
so that you can basically tell them to shove it.
Yeah. That would
Like
be
if they
that would
try
be
to
a
get you to go
goal.
back.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
we're going on, like I said, we're going on vacation. So
Mm.
when my boyfriend and I get back, we're going to he's also said that he's going to be looking for his big boy job because
Mm.
working at a gaming shop for $13 an hour doesn't really pay for much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, how's everything been going on with you, Alex?
Um. Well, as of earlier this month, uh, I am on long service leave from work, and when that's done, I'm gone. So I'm going to have to get off my ass and hurry up and get in and get something sorted, either like unemployment or a um sort of a pension, because they're, from what I understand, depending on how it goes, as far as I know, there is some form of disability pension for autistic people.
Hmm.
Um, and that it is likely, considering what my psychiatrist has said, that I should qualify for that. Um, and like I'd be making it clear to them, my intention is not to be on that like forever.
Mhm.
Um, hopefully, but we'll see. Of course, the funny thing was, is I ran into an autistic woman that I used to work with who left when I walked down to the nearby uh, supermarket. And turns out she works as a cleaner there now. Um, and I told her when I was finishing up at the place I work at the moment. And she was like, "Oh, did you want to come and work here as a cleaner? Because it'd be like 2 hours a day, like 2 hour shifts twice a day, so
Hmm.
4 hours a day total. Um, and I'm like, basically, it was like I didn't commit, but I was like, well, I'll consider it because I'm thinking that way. If I go in and they're like, well, we'd rather you be doing something, um, to get this or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, then I can be like, well,
Mm-hmm. I do have a lead on this.
yeah, like I do have an option if I need it.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't, and like I would be able to, and, like I think the way it was posited was like being like annual/long service leave cover, so I wouldn't be working like all the time, just as needed, kind of a thing, because it's a small enough place, because it's just like a supermarket with some like some other little places attached. Um, so I rather than working for the supermarket, I think it would just be working for whoever owns that block of land, I guess. That they're all in.
Hmm.
So it's like, okay, that's a thing. The main issue has been getting paid for the long service leave
Mm-hmm.
because it's through a third party thing, and I was asking for a specific thing from work for it as an
Mm-hmm.
option because I was sure that the like I didn't have a pay slip, and I was wondering, okay, will a pay slip actually work? Because we got changed over recently to a new app thing that we've got to use for work. So all of the previous pay slips were just gone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I hadn't been able to log into that forever because it said it no longer recognized that company. So that was annoying.
Wow.
And I was on the phone with someone on Friday my time, and he was like, "Yeah, this payslip doesn't have enough info." Um, and I explained the situation to him, and he was like, "Well, the only other option really is a letter on company letterhead from your boss saying, like, confirming this is the hours, uh, this is the hours they work, and we are not paying him for this long service leave because that's your job," kind of
Mm-hmm.
a thing. And I was just like, that's what I wanted from them from the first place. But they were like, oh no, you don't need that. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's so annoying. But like, I did send off a thing to an email to my boss being like, they didn't accept the pay slip, so I'm gonna need that thing from you guys. At best, I'll either finally get what I was asking for and then send that along to them, or I'll she'll like I don't know go over her own head and chase down like a pay slip that actually works
Hmm.
um from payroll or something because I don't know if I can contact them directly or not. So I've never had
Yeah.
to before. So it's like, that's a pain. The lucky thing is my next normal pay week would be next week.
Okay.
So if this gets sorted early enough, and I've got like I'm not like flat broke. I mean, I'm broke by most people's standards. I don't have like a ton of money aside, but I've got enough that if I'm really stingy with money, I should be okay until the long service leave payments start coming through. Unless they're just gonna give me a lump sum, but I would hope that they would spread it out. But yeah, um, Other than that, it's basically just been gaming in that. Ugh. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, I keep bloody forgetting, but my one of my Switch 2 Joy-Con, like spring in one of the trigger buttons
Mm-hmm.
has cocked it. So I
Oh.
need to get that. I need to get that sorted. I remember someone saying that because I bought it from a store, I should just be able to take it back in, explain what's the situation is, and they should be able to just send it back to Nintendo to
Mm-hmm.
get sorted because I bought it less than a year ago. Even though I don't have a receipt, it should be still under warranty, and they're like legally required to either keep a copy of it somewhere, even if digitally, um, or what have you. So, and even then, I've got a membership card with them, so the purchase should still be on my account if they need to track it down that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to get that sorted, so I don't have to just buy Switch 2 ones are expensive.
Yeah, I
I mean,
haven't. I'm actually.
controllers are expensive anyway, but still.
Yeah. Like I'm actually thinking of selling my old Switch because I don't play on it. My old Switch, my old PSP, my old DS, all of that stuff. I don't play on them anymore,
Mm,
so might as well just
yeah.
maybe sell them. I don't even. I haven't even thought about selling them on
Mm,
eBay. I have the original Switch box that I
mm.
could sell it in.
I mean, now would be the time to because I think eBay. I just got an email from eBay recently where apparently they have cut out um they've cut a fee that they would normally take. So
Mm-hmm.
now you'd be making more from selling something than previous by the sounds of. I don't like I would assume that's like a global thing and not just purely an Australia thing
Mm-hmm.
because I think it was like an ebay.com email rather than a .com.au.
Hmm. I've never sold anything on eBay yet. I've, been considering it though because
Mm.
we've gone through my parents' place, cleared that out, and I'm just trying to declutter my own place because I don't want
Mm.
the people I love to have to deal with that kind of a
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah. Like I've tried before, but either what I was trying to sell just no one had any interest in or like I thought about it but was unsure if it was like DVDs or whatever if they would still work and I just can't be bothered to like go through and check them all.
Like, I'm actually planning on selling some old anime VHS tapes that I have.
Ah, yeah.
Because, like, some
I
people,
mean,
even if the VHS tapes aren't verified to play, some people will have them simply to
mm,
have them.
yeah, because like yeah, if they do still work, if you have a way to check if you still have a VHS player or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like if they still work and they're not like too scuffy, you could probably at this point you could probably get some good money off collectors for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is like, these would be like the original Evangelion English dub VHS tapes,
Ah,
so,
okay.
yep.
I mean, those especially would would probably
Was it,
get you a decent amount.
I keep wanting to say VLC, that's not it. It's, some other ADV.
Mm.
AD
Ah,
Vision?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Mm. Uh, so I think that's all
Yep, I think so.
for the band. So we'll move on.
Two birthdays, right?
From that. Yep. So on the show, we've got news and birthdays. Surprisingly, not all. Well, I mean, like there is a decent amount of news, but given how long we've been off, you'd think there'd be more. um, so lucky for that. We've got 13 birthdays, I will say, but that was mainly because I went through like a sheets thing Bill has, and I was like, okay, there's a few here that I don't want to cut. So I capped it, ended up getting to like 13. I was like, okay. Those are the 13 that I would have wanted that are like high enough priority to where I was like, okay, I can probably get away with this. Any more than that, and I probably would have had to cull a few.
Mm-hmm.
So, going back to April, on the 6th of April, we have Mark Strickson, who played Vizsla Turlo from 83 to 84, plus work for Big Finish, turned 67. On the 13th of April, we have Peter Davison, who played the Doctor from 81 to 84, then again in 2007, and again in 2022, plus work for Big Finish. And technically, I guess if you want to split hairs, he also played Omega that one time uh, in Arc of Infinity,
Hmm.
sort of. He turned 75. Moving on to the 14th of April, we have Peter Capaldi, who played, oh my god, these names.
Cos-
Caecilius
Caecilius, yeah.
in The Fires of Pompeii, John Frobisher in Torchwood Series 3, and most known by Doctor Who fans as being the 12th Doctor from 2014 to 2017, turned 68. Also on the 14th of April, we have Terrence Dix, who was the Doctor Who script editor from 68 to 1974, and was a writer until 1983, plus other media. Most notably, he did a lot of the Target Books adaptations of stories.
Mm-hmm.
At least not all, but he did a decent amount. Would have been 91, but died in 2019 at the age of 84. On the 16th of April, we have Derek Sherwin, who was a Doctor Who story editor from 68, between 68 and 69, and was a producer for the War Games and Spearhead from Space. Would have been 90, but died in 2018 at the age of 82. On the 17th of April, we have David Bradley, who was Solomon in Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, William Hartnell in An Adventure in Space and Time, and the newest actor to play the first Doctor in Twice Upon a Time and Power of the Doctor, turned 84. On the 18th of April, we have David Tennant, who was the 10th Doctor from 2005 to 2010. And then the 14th Doctor in 2023 in the anniversary specials, turned 55. On the 27th of April, we have Jenna Coleman, who played Clara Oswald and her variants from 2012 to 2015. She was also in the Big Finish story Destiny of the Doctor, turned 40. On the, oh my god, my bad, I forgot to change the birth date for that, so I'm gonna have to check real quick.
Oh.
For Russell, the
Mm-hmm.
27th of April,
Mm-hmm.
my bad. On the 27th of April as well, was Russell T Davies, the Doctor Who showrunner from 05 to 2010, and the technically still incumbent showrunner from 2023 to now. You know, by this time next year, we might be saying different, but we'll see. He turned 78. Okay, that definitely can't be right. No, 63, my bad. I forgot to. My guess is when I was changing these, I was in such a rush
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense.
that I forgot to change out some of the turned blah. So yeah, sorry. Russell
Ooh.
turned 63. He's not that old yet. um, Finally moving into May, uh, we first have on the 1st of May Sasha Dewan, who played Waris Hussein in An Adventure in Space and Time, and more notably, or arguably equally notably, played the Master from 2020 to 2022, turned 42, the magic number.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, on the 5th of May, we have Richard E. Grant, uh, who played the 10th Doctor in Curse of Fatal Death, the ninth, in heavy air quotes these days, Doctor in Scream of the Shalka, and Dr. Simeon and the Great Intelligence in Series 7 of New Who, turned 69. Nice. Uh, and finally, on the 12th of May, we have Verada Sethu, who played Mundy Flynn in Boom, and Belinda Chandra in Season 2 / Series 15, whatever numbering you want to use. She turned 34. So happy birthday to Mark, Peter, Terrence, Derek, David, Jenna, Russell, Sasha, Richard, and Verada. It's always funny when we have multiples of different names. Especially in a row, like 2 Peters in a row and then 2 Davids in a row.
What are the odds?
So moving on from that to news. In current era news, AMC Plus has announced that it will be the new exclusive streaming home for the first 13 series of Doctor Who, including all of the specials up to that point, which I would assume includes up to Power of the Doctor then, in the USA, beginning on the 11th of June, if I remember right. Just looking at the thingy real quick. Yep, the 11th of June is when it will start streaming.
Which is kind of crazy because wasn't Torchwood Miracle Day kind of. It was aired on AMC, wasn't it? Or was that a Stars production?
I think that might have been Stars. Let's see real quick. Yeah, that was Stars. That was a
Okay.
Stars BBC One co-production.
It's still so weird to have it be on freaking AMC of all places. I guess
Yeah, like
classic movies, but not really.
like yeah. I mean, I feel like
I mean,
it doesn't.
classic Doctor Who might fit better on AMC.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they've been expanding. I mean, I would assume it's an orphaned acronym now, sort of like how pardon me, the Learning Channel became TLC and started doing a bunch of reality show crap.
Yeah.
But let's see, where did that go? There was a quote from AMC, so I'm gonna see if I can find that. Okay. Doctor Who strengthens AMC Plus's position as a destination for premium genre storytelling. Curated franchises defined by iconic worlds, passionate fan bases, and enduring cultural impact, said Courtney Tamasma? I've never seen that surname before. That's interesting. So apologies if I got that wrong. Executive Vice President of AMC Global Media's linear and streaming products. We're thrilled to welcome the Whoniverse into our home of fandoms, giving longtime fans a reason to return while inviting new audiences to discover one of television's most beloved franchises. I will emphasize that this does specifically only say everything pre-Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing about where Doctor Who will be airing in the US after
Yeah.
Disney Plus. Because my guess is, and this kind of semi confirms it, at least for me personally. So, you know, grain of salt, do not take my word. Do not take my word as gospel. This is pure speculation. But this says to me they still can't negotiate where to put stuff moving forward
Mm-hmm.
until after um the War Between the Land and the Sea airs internationally on Disney Plus.
Okay. Has it actually aired in the UK now?
Oh
I
yeah,
thought it was supposed to.
it was, yeah, it's the BBC moved it up to, like, it aired in December of last year.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe like December into January because it was 5 episodes, but yeah,
Yeah,
like
I was
it's
busy dealing
already
with the
aired.
death in the family around then, so I lost
Yeah,
complete
yeah.
track of everything.
Yeah. And like Disney Plus, we still don't have a, which to 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 also bring that up, we still don't have a date for when
Oh
it's going
my
to air
god.
in on Disney Plus, and it's like just throw it out there. Like you clearly don't care anymore, so just throw it out there. My
Mm-hmm.
speculation before, and I forget if you were here for a podcast where I mentioned it or not, but like my speculation at this point is that Disney are just being petty
Yeah,
and are
I
like
wouldn't be
holding
surprised.
off, uh, and yeah, are just holding off as long as physically possible
Mm-hmm.
before finally just dumping it on there.
Is it that bad that they don't want to show, or
I don't
maybe
know.
it's just because we're done with Doctor Who. Everyone knows we're done with Doctor Who, and if we air this now, it'll confuse our viewers into thinking that we're still doing Doctor Who.
Um, I mean, I've seen mixed opinions. I feel like I've seen some have said, it's all right, and I think I've seen some people say they really liked it, and others like, well, that was crap. So I
Hmm.
don't know what the consensus is,
Hmm.
but I would rather they just like, as I've said to at least Bill before, what
Mm-hmm.
they should do is just, if they can't be bothered to find a place to slot it in weekly because they give so little of a crap now, just dump it all in one go. Just dump all 5 episodes at once.
Well, it's only five. I didn't
Like,
realize it was that short. Even for some reason, I
oh
thought it
yeah,
would be
it's
like
like,
a little bit longer than that. But hmm.
nah, it's like it'd be like, modern length. So it's like
Yeah.
5 episodes that are probably all close to an hour long. But the idea is that those were like the leftover 5 episodes that were part of the Disney Plus deal. So like they were given 26 episodes, I think, total. 21 of those were used for Doctor Who, and that includes specials. Um, because I think it was like what, 8 and 8 is 16,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got the three. Yeah, that'd work out because you've got 5 specials then, because of the 3 anniversary ones and 2 standard Christmas specials. So that's
Mm-hmm.
an extra 5, so that's 21. And then the leftover 5 episodes they used for War Between Land and Sea. So I still think that they should have just done um, 2 10-episode series or seasons, as they ended up calling them, and just had like, they would have had a Christmas special left because they had that, because this was 5 episodes. They could have just had 2 of those episodes added onto season 1, and then another 2 added onto season 2, and that those would have been 10 each, and there would have been one left over for another Christmas special. Um, and then they could have rounded out the deal that way if Disney didn't give a crap. So instead, we're stuck in whatever the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Either way, it's at least nice to know that people in the US anyway. I don't know what's going on with it in Australia, but um, at least we know where the old stuff,
The original
pre
New
Disney,
Who, yeah.
yeah, yeah, the pre Disney Plus era stuff is going to end up, and God knows how long that stuff is going to end up, is going to be up on Disney Plus, because I would
Mm-hmm.
assume it's only like X amount of time, and then that'll get pulled from there,
Mm-hmm.
so BBC can put it wherever they want.
Yeah, and
Um,
honestly, I don't know how long this AMC Plus deal is going to go on. Like, who subscribes to
mm,
AMC, their streaming
right,
service? Like, if it were
right.
Peacock even or Paramount Plus, I could see, or like
Mm,
putting on an HBO Max or something. Those I can
yeah,
understand having it on there for a long time, but who the hell subscribes to AMC Plus?
right. I mean, this this actively might be AMC Plus, AMC trying to make a grab at like, hey, look, we've got Doctor Who. Please come and give us money.
Mm-hmm. The thing is that
um,
if it doesn't draw people in, if people aren't subscribing to AMC Plus for the classic New Who,
yeah,
then what happens to New Who after or pre Disney New Who after that? Like,
right,
does it
right.
devalue
I
the
mean,
property and stuff? Does it make it easier or
yeah,
harder for it to find another
like
home?
if I was them, what I would do, and I don't know why they didn't just default to this, is put it all on friggin' BritBox.
Yeah, that's what I would have done.
Like, it's one you half own, for God's sake. And they might, for all I know, they might fully own it now. Like, the only reason I can see them not
Wait,
doing that is
AMC
that
owns
either,
BritBox?
no, 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 no. I mean, the BBC. Like,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
joint.
It was a
BritBox is like a jointly
ITV.
owned between, yeah, BritBox is jointly owned by BBC and ITV.
Okay.
Unless that situation has changed and BBC has pulled all their stuff from it, which I don't think they have.
Because I know Acorn
Last time I
TV has
checked.
gotten big, but I think Acorn TV is actually US based.
Hmm. So yeah, like, if I was them, I would just make, like, let all the international rights lapse and just chuck it all on BritBox again, because they, at least in Australia, they wiped all of their sci-fi stuff
Hmm.
from BritBox, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, Blake 7 was on there, Red Dwarf was on there,
Wow.
the 80s original like TV version of Hitchhiker's Guide was on there,
What's
and now they're just
crazy is
gone.
I've seen Red Dwarf on like free versions of stuff. I've seen it on like Pluto TV,
Hmm,
and I think even like Amazon's free stuff. I think it's called Freevee or
probably.
something like that. They're
Hmm,
channels that you can scroll through that look like cable but aren't.
yeah. Hmm. Um, but yeah, like, I don't know what's gonna, yeah, like, again, we still don't have any confirmation of where Doctor Who will be airing moving forward. So God knows where the Christmas special this year, which we still have no news on, is gonna air
Gosh, can you imagine them just? Can you imagine
internationally.
Disney just not airing a Christmas special? Just not like even if they technically kind
Well,
of own it, or
a- as far as I can tell, the Christmas special won't be isn't part of that deal.
okay,
So BBC will just be putting it out on their own, but it's a matter of where,
yeah,
like, internationally. Like, if they'll just redo deals with their old partners, so, like, I don't know, maybe BBC America gets the Christmas special just to be quick about it.
mm-hmm,
Because they're gonna have to sort something out, because this is ridiculous.
yeah. For a
Like,
franchise that's this established and everything, it's like Star Wars not
mm,
finding a home.
right. Like, and it makes money.
Mm-hmm.
Evidently, it's like one of, like, as far as I can understand, Doctor Who's one of their top merch earners. So, like, even though the ratings are never necessarily super great, they at least, like, in terms of, mind you, ratings these days are kind of arbitrary, but,
Yeah.
like, um, whatever the ratings are doing, the main moneymaker is merchandise anyway. So like you would
Mm-hmm.
think, and again, like the fact that it's got such a dedicated fan base is probably why AMC are like, well, here's a reason for people to come to our service. And it also might just be, um, maybe they were one of the few people biting because like
Oh.
with Parent, I guarantee you Paramount Plus wouldn't because they're trying to court the Trump administration.
Oh.
So something like Doctor Who, which is usually a lot more left leaning,
Mm-hmm.
probably not something they want to put money into.
Well, and a lot of people are, I don't
Um,
know why, but a lot of people are starting to realize that a lot of these franchises like Star Trek and stuff and even Star Wars are actually
mm,
pretty left leaning. And yet
yeah,
for some reason people just howl when they bring up topics
yeah,
that are left leaning. It's just like, were
right,
you not paying attention to the show?
right. I mean, like some things might not seem as left leaning just because it was like for the time it was progressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like 60s Star Trek probably has a lot of problematic stuff in it, but it was a matter of product of its time, but at least they were trying,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. Yeah, anyway, we've been on this one for a while, so
Oh
moving
yeah, we should
on.
probably move on.
Yeah.
Do we have to? Oh
uh
no, reload please. There we go.
in I forget. Let's see.
I think it's the Radio
Trying to remember
Times one, right?
exactly. Yeah. I'm just trying to remember if they list what the okay, yes. Uh Man Gill did recently talk to and by recently I mean this was literally published on the on the 15th of May in thing. Like it was good thing that I got the links from Bill when I did because this was one of the first things that cropped up and it was like, ah,
Well, and I'm not even like
um
able to see anything. It's locked behind a
yeah.
paywall.
Well, oddly enough, not a paywall so much as like they want you to have an account because that's what I did. Is like
Mm.
I just set up a free account and it'll let me read it.
Oh,
It
okay.
might be that it might be that I can only read like X amount of stuff per day,
Oh,
but um or like if I want like full issues or whatever or blah that
yeah, right
it
down
would
here.
cost. But yeah. As it stands, she recently talked Manip Gill, who played Yaz, talked about why she was shocked, uh, how she was shocked by the reaction to her casting from the Radio Times. This is, she says, Chris Jimwell didn't make up people of color. Amanda Gill declares as she looks back on the reaction to her casting. Da-da-da-da-da. When our series came out, we had a lot of people going, "Oh, so it's politically correct." And they had a person of color, two people of color, an older person. Gil remembers speaking exclusive to the Radio Times. She returns to Doctor Who for a brand new audio adventures with Big Finish. I was never bothered because I was so excited to be in Doctor Who, and there are so many positive things that I wouldn't really focus on that. But it shocked me because I'm like, then showrunner Chris Chibnall uh, did not make up people of color. It's not something he created. We exist. I was born here, and I've worked for years, and I've been on shows, and I never really had to justify why I'd be on the show. What I love about our series is that it didn't. There was only like an episode that was heavily focused on my character, and then one for Ryan's about our race and background. I love that we touched on that, but also love that color wasn't at the forefront and race wasn't always talked about. But I feel really proud to have been part of the part of the change in television. Because when I was younger, there were Asian people in the bill, Bend It Like Beckham, goodness gracious me, but there was so few and far between that we had to watch them. I was born in England, but my mum and dad weren't. So I remember going, "Oh my god, there's so many. Oh my god, there's people that look like us on TV." So I'm really, really proud that I'm part of that story. It's just a bit gutting that we still talk about it as if we're brand new and are not part of not part of the community. Because for me, TV is supposed to educate and entertain, and be escapism. And in doing that, you have to be reflective of society.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's a lot more, but we talked about that before. But yeah, it is very ridiculous that people have like. I mean, there's a lot, and I'm gonna keep it short, but there is a lot. Well, if I can, anyway. There's a lot of that now, where like people are acting as if people have. It's almost like people acting as if like brown and black people have never been on Doctor Who before.
Yeah.
Like, hello, Mickey and Martha.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was early, and that was friggin' under RTD, who these chuds were like, "Oh, come back and save us.
Yeah.
He won't be this politically correct person." And I was like, hello." Like he basically saw what Chibnall did and said, "I'm gonna do that too." Like,
Yeah, I think a lot
you
of
know,
it's also driven by social media. You hear all these horrible
mm,
people have kind of their voices lifted up now, and it's just,
yeah,
yeah, it's kind of shocking to think, you know, that some people take issue with it still, but like a lot of those people are also being paid to kind of shit stir
yeah,
too,
yeah.
you know, or at least
Especially
they're
on
earning
Twitter,
money from
yeah.
doing it.
Yeah, yeah, like on Twitter with the whole thing where if you've got a blue check now, you can earn money from
Mm-hmm.
engagement. So people just
Oh,
rage
I didn't
bait.
even know that. Oh my god.
Yeah, like that's part of the reason that anyone who isn't just like a personality and thus probably wants to pay for it so they can lock in their handle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because like if you're like a company or whatever, fair enough. But if you're just some random person, literally the only reason they're doing that is because either they want to feel special or they want to make money off rage bait.
Mm-hmm.
Like like that's it.
Like
And
if it weren't
yeah.
like such a shitty company now, like if it weren't in Elon Musk's
Mm,
hands, I may consider subscribing to it just so that my social media stuff could get a little bit of a boost and drive more people to like my Twitch channel or something like that. But not now.
mm,
Like it's just
yeah.
I'll post to various social media networks and get my engagement that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
So
just
moving on. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So moving on from alumni news to two bits of other.
Cool.
Um, because I wasn't sure where to like. I was thinking, technically, neither of these in like one involves a multimedia project, and the other is like Torchwood related, but also not related to the actors. So I was like, putting both of these in other makes sense. But in that we have more info. I feel like actually no, this might have been announced while we were effectively on hiatus, so we might not have talked about this before.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing about
Uh,
this. Maybe
but
we
back
heard like a tentative thing.
possibly, but back in April, um, they announced that there would be another massive uh, Doctor Who multimedia project, multi-platform, however you want to say it.
Mm-hmm.
But this time it'll be focused around Joe Martin's fugitive Doctor, which is nice because like it's nice that she'll be getting like her role will be getting a lot of focus. Um, And the story, it was revealed on the Hooniverse show, so like their current. I think that's a podcast. I forget. I don't really keep up with it. Now that I'm helping do news duties, I probably should, just in case.
Hmm.
In case they bring stuff up on it that it would make sense to mention. But yeah, so this begins next month. In the depths of Unit's most secure facility, the Black Archive, familiar objects have been pulled through time and space, surrounded with a dangerous energy signature threatening to tear reality apart. With time running out, newly appointed head of the Black Archive, Osgood, played by Ingrid Oliver, and her assistant, and her assistant Andrew, played by Omari Douglas, turn to the only person who can help, the Doctor, played by Joe Martin. This is no ordinary crisis, and not the Time Lord they are familiar with. As the Doctor confronts her most infamous enemies, such as the Daleks, Cybermen, Sontarans, and a rogue Weeping Angel, she is forced to complete a mission with an insidious presence lurking in the shadows. Secrets begin to surface, and trust between Unit and the Doctor begins to erode, as those who idolize her start to question if she really is the Time Lord they thought they knew. So yeah, this is the third. Circuit Breaker is the third multi-platform, multimedia event following Time Lord Victorious and Doomsday. So it'll see a single escalating crisis play out across multiple platforms from June to September, each chapter unlocking new clues, new dangers, and a new side to the Doctor. So the list of stuff, since thankfully the Cult Box article that I'm reading this from does in fact have a list. On the 25th of June, we'll be a story release called Calling the Doctor, which will be on the Unit website, written by Esme Jikimi Pearson. Again, apologies like throughout for any name fudging. On the 8th of July, Adversary of the Daleks from Titan Comics, written by Dulce M. Montoya and Dan Waters, or Waters maybe, with art from Roberta Ingranata and Sammy Cavella. On the 23rd of July, The Honourable Society, a Doctor Who, which will be in Doctor Who magazine issue 632, written by Jason Quinn and illustrated by Anthony Williams. On the 30th of July, The Deadliest Weapon, BBC Audiobooks audio original, written by Steve Lyons, narrated by Joe Martin with David Banks as the Cyber Leader, which is apparently already available for pre-order. On the 4th of August is Dawn of the Daleks, a name that I'm kind of shocked hasn't been used yet. Although I guess you could almost use that as an alt title for like Genesis of the Daleks. So we'll see how that works out. And that will be from Titan Comics, written by Dulce M. Montoya and Dan Waters, with art from Roberta Ingranata and Sammy Cavella. On the 6th of August is Castling, by Eastside Games, written by Mario Mentasti. On the 17th of August, Don't Blink, which will be on the Unit website, written by Esme Jikiemi Pearson. On the 20th of August, The Doctor and the Three Witches, Puffin Books release, written by Janelle McCurdy. Part of the Time Lord Fairy Tale series, which is also available for pre-order. On the 27th of August, Moment Mori, which is interesting because I feel like that the phrase is Memento Mori.
Yeah. It could be
it was
moment
like that.
as in time. Moment Mori.
Yeah. And that'll be published by Eastside Games, written by Mario Mentasti. On the 31st of August, the Black Archives files, which will be a DVD/Blu-ray release containing 10 selected Doctor Who episodes from 75 to 2021, relating to the Objects Out of Time theme, plus an interview with Joe Martin and an exclusive booklet. To be honest, I might look into getting that, depending on if it gets a proper release in Australia, and that is also available for pre-order at the moment. On the 3rd of September, The Kaleidoscope, a Penguin Random House book written by Joe Martin. Interesting. Featuring the Fugitive Doctor and Martha Jones, published by BBC Books, available for pre-order. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to assume there are just some typos because they said Martha Jones instead of Martha Jones.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm going to assume that title earlier was Memento Mori, but they fudged it. On the 22nd of September, we have Full Circle, which will be
Circuit.
a big finish. Full Circuit, sorry.
Yep.
Probably one of those things of like just Full Circle is already a phrase,
Yeah.
so that's why.
Well,
that came
Full
to
Circle
mind.
was the name of an episode already of a story.
Right, yeah. So yeah, that'll be a Big Finish audio story written by Robert Valentine, and which is also available for pre-order, and that is starring Joe Martin, obviously. And finally, on the 24th of September, Short Circuits, which will be 2 Big Finish audio stories, including Battleships by Alex Hewitt and Get Rich or Die Trying by Alex Hewitt, from a story by Natasha Siegel, and those are also available for pre-order. Very quickly, Joe Martin expressed her enthusiasm for what is to come with the Fugitive Doctor. Circuit Breaker now is an official start date. I'm delighted for fans to join the Fugitive Doctor on a brand new adventure, one that may even showcase a more vulnerable side. Yes, she does have one. But for now, I invite you to take a first look at my Doctor's brand new costume. Which, yes, we did get some out of that. I probably should have tracked down like a full photo of that. But yeah, people can go looking for that if they want.
I'll be honest, I kind of feel like following along with this. That sounds like kind of a fun project to look into.
Like it. The interesting thing is the main thing that stood out to me is usually these are centered around Big Finish, I feel. But in this instance, there's technically only like 3 stories coming out of Big Finish right at the end. Which is interesting. Like, even one of the audio stories earlier is from BBC audiobooks. So, it is kind of interesting that how much they're spreading it out. But yeah, so moving on from that, we have an update on the Yanto Jones Memorial preservation, which I mainly included because I was unaware this was happening, because I don't know if we've covered it before. But effectively, Doctor Who prop maker James Sutton has revealed that preservation efforts are underway for the fictional entrance to Torchwood HQ in Cardiff Bay, following the removal of the shrine. Like, effectively, the idea is to save on time, so I'm not just reading the whole Radio Times article out. Sutton revealed that he had permission to visit the location and salvage some stuff from the shrine that hadn't, because by the sounds of it, it's just been like moved or cornered off or something. It hasn't actually been like torn down and destroyed.
I didn't even know it was a thing. Like, when did they create the shrine? Was it right after his character died, or is it part of the Torchwood series that I just don't remember seeing in the show? Or they wouldn't have one because Yanto was supposed to be a secret agent type.
Yeah, like it was a fan thing. that started. Oh god, I forget exactly when. Um, although there is seemingly a documentary about the shrine in the works. Um, yeah, generally the thing, and I think it comes up in this, that like it was a fan project that they got permission to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because the idea is that this became a thing after Children of Earth, which is the story Yanto dies in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so because the location that acted as the entrance for the Torchwood HQ was still there, um, they just a fan driven thing got permission to set up a shrine there because it wasn't. I guess the idea is it wasn't really being used for anything, and it just kind of like became a bit of a thing for Doctor Who fans to sort of have a pilgrimage to go there.
Mm.
And I forget if it brings it up, but I think it mentions the woman who started the whole thing. But yeah, certain pieces can't be removed for the time being, but the guy is generally hoping to preserve as much as possible of the little shrine setup, so that it can. God knows what would be done with it. I guess just put up in display, or maybe put. Well, yeah, it'd be on display somewhere. It'd just be a matter of where. I would assume you would try to keep it in Cardiff, so long as there's somewhere. Unfortunately, that Doctor Who exhibit thing that was in Wales, I think, was shut down. I forget how long ago, but I feel like we brought it up on the podcast when that
Yeah.
happened, and because, which sucks because if that was still open, then that would be somewhere to put it. um. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so Carol Ann Hillman was the name of the lady who
Mm-hmm.
uh, started the Shrine project. But yeah, in any case, uh, if there's a notable update, we'll come back to that eventually. But as it stands, there is that.
Yeah, I can't even remember if I've heard of Yanto's Shrine. We may have talked about it before. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I feel like we probably have, but because there's never really been news surrounding it,
Mm-hmm.
um, until this, I think we might have covered it. Um, the initial thing of the fact that it was going away, but it might have been a stream that you weren't here for.
Yeah.
Um. Anyway, moving on from that to books, we have Black Archive Special: An Adventure in Space and Time, which is effectively a sort of documentary look. Like it sort of is from Reserved Books. Takes a look at the 2013 docudrama An Adventure in Space and Time. The following program is based on actual events. It's important to remember, however, that you can't rewrite history, not one line, except perhaps when you embark on an adventure in space and time. But yeah, that was released. I'm trying to remember when. But the thing on DoctorWho's.net, DoctorWhoNews.net was posted on the 2nd of May, and this is like a has been released. You can get it from Observed Books. going to their website, it is for the actual like physical book. It is currently on sale, seemingly, for £9.99. So not too bad if you want a physical copy. God knows what the shipping would be if you want a physical copy of it, given where it's shipping from. But it is currently going for less than £10, technically. So not bad. And the ebook version of it is even cheaper, is slightly cheaper than that. So if people want to look into that, there that is. And that was written by David Rollinson. For some reason I thought we had another one, but I think there might have been, but I realized either it was so long ago. It was like long enough ago that I'm like, yeah, it's not really recent enough. So I skipped it. So moving from that, we finally get to Big Finish. On the 12th of May, saw the release of the 13th Doctor Adventures Aegis. Or Aegis, potentially. AE is always an annoying thing for me to have to remember how to pronounce.
Aegis?
Yeah. It's like, there are multiple ways you could probably pronounce it, but I'd have to, like, listen to the story most likely to figure out which one they use. But that was written by Noga Flacian. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. And starring Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor and Mandip Gill as Yasmin Khan. As previously mentioned with that Mandip Gill thing before, so that's kind of relevant. And on the 14th of May, we saw the release of Dark Gallifrey, The Meddling Monks Part 2, which is written by John Dorney and starring Rufus Hound as the monk and Gemma Whalen as the nun. And the final bit of news, Big Finish have announced their 2026 New Rider competition. This is a thing they do every year to honor the memory of Paul Spragg. The idea is that people submit entries for a potential. So the idea is you're not like submitting like a full short. If I remember right, you're basically just submitting like a page or two as like a concept, like sort of proof of concept thing. And if they like yours particularly, you'll win. The theme this year is the First Doctor. With the range producer Peter Angelades. I'm not great with names, so again, apologies. Says in the 10 years since we launched this memorial competition, we've never had a winning story featuring the First Doctor. This year, we're changing that. So yeah, standalone short trip, brand new idea that showcases him in a short story for a single reader that will publish at the end of the year. And it's the First Doctor as seen on TV. And from what I can remember with all the caveats is basically you need to write something that is just the Doctor and the companions hanging out by the looks of it. Like not really getting into anything they don't want you creating any new companions or companions that the First Doctor never met, or just generally were not his companions. By the sounds of it, they like the interesting thing is they say do not include any established creatures or established characters or established organizations. And given the kind of things they list, I'm like, okay, so basically the idea is um if you want to do a story where like the first doctor and let's say Vicky and Steven
Mm-hmm.
meet a historical figure, you could do that. But they meet a historical figure and also there are Daleks, they'll probably be like, no. Which I guess, to be fair, with a name like Short Trips, it feels like the point would be that they don't really get into a scuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole point is that it's supposed to be a short story, so there wouldn't really be time. Um, but yeah, the submission deadline is the 11th of June. Yeah, the 11th of June. Uh,
11:59 p.m. UK time.
yeah, yeah. So basically, try to get it in before
Before midnight.
then, depending on time zone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Yeah. This is another one where like, I know the last one. I think last year's was the Time War, which is a bit more broad. If I and like I do like that they do encourage people to actually listen to Short Trips first because like
Mm-hmm.
so you actually know what the hell you're getting into.
Yeah, because it seems like a
In
pretty
terms of what they want.
restrictive competition. Like you can't,
Mm,
you legit can't just do willy nilly whatever fan fiction you want to do.
right. Um, which, in a way, having very specific um guidelines to work within is probably better, so people don't just go off the deep end. Um, Especially because the idea is it's a new rider competition, which I would assume would mean that if you've won previously, you're not allowed to enter again. Um, and if they like your work enough, that maybe you get to, like, maybe it might lead to a job with Big Finish if they like your stuff enough. Even if they'd only really start you on stuff like Short Trips and then maybe you work your way up. Who knows? Um, I'd have to look into previous winners to see if they ever actually went on to do stuff with Big Finish or not. But with that, that is all for the news. I guess, did you want to do your geek talk, or
Uh,
did you want to leave that for next time?
I think we should leave it for next time. I think we've got like
Mm.
quite enough to deal with for now.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we've been
uh,
kind of, we did our little thing. I think we
yeah.
talked a lot about stuff, so I think we should
Right.
probably get going. Oh shoot, I should probably. Should I have a timer up or something? Are you gonna have a timer up?
Yeah, I can get a timer up.
Yeah. I just closed my window. I'm like, oh shoot, should not have closed that.
So let me know when you're
Let me get a drink
ready.
here. Okay. Okay, alright. Ready to go.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright. The episode opens with a man investigating one of Phi Corps' mysterious facilities in Shanghai. After reporting back to Phi Corps executive Stuart Owens, the investigator calmly walks off the top of a skyscraper. We also learn about something called the 45 Club, where people are jumping from high enough buildings to become permanently unconscious, since death itself is no longer possible. Meanwhile, Rex is still trapped inside the overflow camp after witnessing Dr. Vera Juarez being burned alive in the previous episode. He records a video message exposing what's happening in the camps. Category 1 patients aren't being treated, they're being incinerated. Esther, who's working undercover in the camp offices, starts realizing something happened to Vera and becomes increasingly suspicious of camp administrator Colin Maloney. Over in Wales, Gwen infiltrates a British overflow camp where her father, Geraint, has been classified as Category 1. Gwen confronts one of the doctors, basically accusing her of helping run concentration camps. It's one of the harshest scenes in the episodes because the doctor admits that she knows what's happening, but insists she's just following government policy. Reese manages to get inside the camp disguised as a driver, and he and Gwen organize an escape for Geraint. Back in America, Jack finally meets Stuart Owens from Fyrehart. At first, Jack assumes Owens is one of the masterminds behind Miracle Day, but Owens reveals that even Fyrehart is only part of a much larger conspiracy. He explains that powerful people have been preparing Miracle Day since at least the 1990s, and mentions a mysterious term connected to the conspiracy, the Blessing. At the camp, Rex gets captured by Maloney, who tries to kill him by stabbing him repeatedly with a pen, forgetting that nobody can die. Esther arrives and ends up in a brutal fight with Maloney. And a major turning point for her character, Esther kills him in self-defense. She's clearly unable to deal with this violence that she's able to inflict on people. Rex, Esther, and one of the guards escape the camp with Rex's footage of Vera's death. At the same time, Gwen and Reese successfully rescue Geraint from the Welsh camp. Gwen then uses Torchwood's contact lens technology to broadcast a message exposing the truth about the overflow camps to the entire world, while she blows up the camp's incinerator modules behind her in full action hero fashion on a bike. Torchwood finally succeeds in revealing the truth, but governments basically acknowledge the camps and continue operating them anyway because society has become dependent on them. Episode ends with Gwen arriving back in America, receives a message through her contact lenses from some people, the shadowy people behind the conspiracy. They say they've got Reese, her mother, and her daughter. And if she wants them back to life, she has to hand over Jack. The end. Dun dun dun.
Okay, so you did that in 3 minutes, 23 seconds.
Jeez. Cool. Alrighty.
I guess the benefit of this is that, like, there's only really 2 locations aside from the stuff with Jack going after the Fyrehart dude. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's very concentrated rather than like scattered around.
Yeah.
So it's easier to summarize than some of these where you're like, how the hell do I?
You're like jumping around doing all this stuff and everything too. So, yeah.
So with the summary done, we move on to the review proper. So first up, what we liked about the episode overall. And it's you first, Aaron.
Okay, I think I liked Ernie Hudson the best as a character actor as Stuart Owens. Just because he makes it kind of hard to hate Owens because he just kind of appeals to your like. He's like, yeah, I'm not like a good guy, but I'm also not evil. I'm just a middleman, that type of deal. So, and yeah, I'm treating my secretary like trash. I'm treating my wife like trash, but like, it's just what I do when I have this power and all that stuff. I'm not actually powerful enough to want to destroy the world like this. And that, and he gives Jack Harkness, he teaches Jack Harkness how this whole system works and this how business works in general. and that.
Mm.
So it kind of gives the audience tutorial like, well, this had to happen and that had to happen, and all of this planning took probably about 10 years before anyone realized
Mm.
what before they even began to truly implement it. So
Mm.
yeah, and that's kind of, he didn't have to do that, but he also
Yeah.
kind of feels helpless. I mean, he did just allow a dude who was working with him to die and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm sure by the time he's had this dinner, he finds out that the spy he sent over in China to look at stuff is dead.
Mm.
So, yeah, I just
Yeah.
found it.
Like
Yeah,
it.
sorry.
Yeah. It is. It is interesting how calmly he plays it,
Mm-hmm.
especially because like, especially given like the cold open with the dude throwing himself off a building. Um, that like you would think he would be a bit more panicky. Um, but he's just like, yeah, well, this is just kind of the way it is, unfortunately. Like I'm trying to figure this out too, but um, like, I mean, the main surprising thing is that he didn't get offed in the end
Mm-hmm.
by the like shadowy overlords
Yeah.
actually running stuff. So like either they need him that much that and he hasn't like actually found anything
Mm-hmm.
that they're willing to let him live,
It could be
or
that he got
maybe that'll get
scared by the
followed up.
guy dying, that he's just kind of backed off on his
Yeah,
investigation now. He got the hint.
probably, yeah. Yeah. um or he realizes that like he's important enough that so long as he doesn't pry too deep. Well,
Mm-hmm.
actually no, yeah, it almost sounds like with the conversation him and Jack have, it does sound like he's kind of given up. That as
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, no matter I don't have enough pull to figure out what the hell's going on here, so whatever. Um like the most worried he looks is when his wife storms off.
Yeah. Otherwise, he's
um
just cute, cool as a cucumber and everything. He's just like, yeah,
yeah.
I know the world's ending, but what am
Mm.
I going to be able to do about it? It's the same. It's the same response that just about everybody who's stuck in that system has. Like the lady
Mm.
who's like in with Esther, who's just sitting there typing on her computer, like, I just want to get home and get my money.
Mm.
And the
Yeah.
doctor who's in the tent and is just like, yeah, I don't
Mm.
ask me what's going on. I'm just trying to do my job.
Yeah. Um
Resigned. They're all just kind of resigned to
yeah,
their fate.
yeah. Yeah. Um yeah, it is definitely like I forget what other stuff I've seen him in, but I definitely recognized him and was like, it was an interesting pick for this, but it also really worked. Just because, yeah, like he is so like nonchalant about like, hey, I know I'm not the bad guy. Like, I know I'm
Mm-hmm.
not like the ultimate bad guy you're looking for, so I'm safe because you can't really do anything to me. So, especially if you
Mm-hmm.
want to find info. And it is also just interesting because, like, the way the, like, next time on Torchwood things set him up, I almost thought he was going to be, like, uh,
Mm-hmm.
like, more involved with what's going on. Um, so the fact that it's very blatantly set up from the cold open that he has no idea,
Yeah.
and is just profiting on it more than anything, is more like that's just a more interesting way to go about it as well.
Mm-hmm. Like, it would have been so easy just to make him an utter sleazeball, like Maloney.
Mm.
Just turn him into another Colin
Yeah.
Maloney, who's just like sleazing on women and just is
Mm.
just like the worst, like, and like have him be incompetent and stuff. That's why he's in charge. But I
Yeah.
think the whole point is that he's not incompetent, and even then he's still being
Mm.
controlled.
Yeah. Plus, the fact that like there's the whole stuff with him like cheating on his wife and not really caring that much about his mistress is also like it's very it's by Torchwood standards that is very tame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just
Like
like with how coldly he kind of deals with his secretary, like having her like shipped off to
yeah.
another area of the country.
Yeah. Yeah. which is likely, which I almost wondered at first if that was him, if that was Jack bullshitting, but it might have been actually the case because he might have realized, like, okay, she's getting a bit too clingy. I need to cut this off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I didn't realize that
Um,
bosses would have that pull. Like, you mean your boss can
mm,
just have you transferred to an area? But I guess I hear that happens a lot too. Like,
mm.
you see it,
I mean,
well, in movies and TV.
yeah, like I forget if he's like the outright president of FICOR, but he's high up enough
Mm-hmm.
that, which I guess given that Jack thinks he knows something, he must be like the president of the company or CEO or something like that.
I can look it
So,
up and see.
um,
Stuart
I would
Owens.
like he's high up enough that it would make sense that he would have the power to shift her around. You would think that she would already know, but
He
I
is
guess
the
the idea
CEO.
is
He's the chief operating
okay. Yeah, there you
officer
go.
of FICOR.
Yeah, so there you go. Like to that end, it's probably a matter of he has the pull to at least try to make that happen. Because
Yeah.
seemingly the idea is that considering she doesn't know, he clearly mustn't have actually like had it approved yet.
Mm-hmm. He
But
was just holding on to a draft of the email until he could send it out to her or
yeah,
something. So, because
yeah,
you see in movies and TV shows, like, oh yeah, I'm being transferred to such and such office out in Biloxi, Illinois, or something like that, from New York.
yeah.
Sorry, bye.
Mm. Um, and he probably, if the idea was to get her away because she was getting a bit too clingy, it was probably also a matter of he was probably gonna like pay her off,
Mm-hmm.
like give her hush money effectively to like just go over there, and I'll give you like a couple million or whatever, because he'd be high up. If he's the CEO, he's definitely rich enough to just drop a cool million or two, and
Mm-hmm.
be like, yeah, go live over here. I'm gonna have to break this off. Um, yeah. On a related note, my favorite overall aspect is just kind of how like ramped up this episode is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is so funny to me that like this was the one more than Children of Earth. This was the story that I remember like Matt and Bill and Randy all being like, well, that's going to be a slog when we get to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
honestly, I
like,
felt this way too. And now that I'm rewatching, I'm like, this is way
mm,
better than I remember it being. I remember
yeah,
being
and
so
I
disappointed when it came out.
yeah, I mean, to be fair, we haven't got to the end yet, so it could
Mm-hmm.
always land on its face.
Yeah.
It could always trip over the final hurdle. Because hell, Children of Earth, most of what kills that for me is like
Mm.
the final episode. Like there are bits in some of the previous episodes that I'm like, eh, but it was at least okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the final episode happens, and I'm like, yeah, no, I hate this.
Yeah, like
Whereas
I
this,
barely remember Children of Earth. I haven't watched it in so long.
yeah, like this was a rough opening stretch. Like the first episode, I really didn't like,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes a while to get going. But starting with like I think it was episode 4, my
Yeah.
opinion has been improving, and it's just been getting better and better and better. So it's like, okay, here we go. Like I watched this. Like when I finished watching this, it was after midnight. I was wide awake
Yeah.
after watching that. I was like, "Oh shit!" I had to stop myself from watching the next episode. That's how much I enjoy this. But it was just like, it's ramping everything up. They are getting so blatant
And
about the politics here, with like referring to stuff as concentration camps.
mm-hmm.
Some of the language used, I forget specific moments, which is why I'm annoyed at myself that I didn't wake up early enough to get a rewatch in. But there are some like lines, I think even relating to like, I think even before they explicitly called them concentration camps,
Mm-hmm.
I was like there's a line from the guy that killed Juarez
Mm-hmm.
where he refers to of Juarez refers to the like the incinerators or whatever as ovens, and just like something about that triggered a oh yeah, concentration camps, and
Yep.
just like the way he says something about them feels very weighted towards like something you would have heard a Nazi in World War II say about those, and it's just like holy shit. Because it's like straight up, like full blown
Mm-hmm.
Nazi style concentration camps. We're burning people.
Yeah.
Um, like it's like, oh shit,
Yeah,
we're
they
really
don't
going
even
for it.
dance around it. They're like, no, like
Yeah,
Gwen is like, you are putting people in concentration camps. We're not going to
yeah,
even pretend right now.
yeah. And it's like, holy shit. Like it really is. Where the hell was this energy in the early episode?
Mm-hmm.
Because like it does take a while to ramp up, but I'm glad we've got here at this point. Because it's like, holy fuck, this is what I want. Like
Mm-hmm.
this kind of energy is what I wanted from Children of Earth, but isn't what I got from Children of Earth.
Yeah. It's
If
just
Children of
very
Earth had had
excited.
this kind of energy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If Children of Earth had had this kind of energy, I would have been all for it all the way. Because
Mm-hmm.
like, goddamn, and like as I brought up in previous ones where we've covered this, I forget if you were here when I brought it up, but like, um, oh wow, now I've just blanked on what I was going to say. But like, I also think that also just like the politics being so much clearer, and the
Mm-hmm.
politics. I think that the thing at the time, and I've definitely discussed this with Bill. I forget if you were here or not, but this does feel much more relevant right now
Mm-hmm.
than it did in 2011.
Yeah.
Like post Trump, like him being elected the first time, this is so much more relevant. Because even in that first run, they were doing internment camps.
Mm-hmm.
And like gearing up to what's happening in the US now, yeah, this feels incredibly relevant. And like the healthcare stuff would have still been relevant in 2011, but also post COVID becoming a thing, which as a reminder, folks, that never actually went away. Um, again, that also feels a hell of a lot more relevant. Like it's aiming at the healthcare industry, and there's the whole fascism stuff with the concentration camps and all this, and it's just like, yeah, like this energy I can get behind. Like this
Mm-hmm.
commentary I can get. Whereas Children of Earth, I don't know what the hell that was going for. I really don't. Whereas this I can easily latch onto. Okay, commentary on the healthcare industry. Got it.
I like
And like,
how much better it's structured than what was the more recent episode we had from Shoot You Got was first season. I think oh no, that was the second season
um,
where I keep wanting to call her Rose and that's not
oh,
it. The companion
Ruby.
Ruby is dating the dude who
Mm.
like winds up being like anti-alien and everything.
Yeah, yeah. The guy who's basically like a
He
right wing grifter.
yeah. Mhm.
Um, he's like, I was gonna compare him to someone, but I can't really think of anyone because the
The
only people I can think of to compare him to are like older and are
mhm.
a different type of grifter than he is.
Yeah, and like he
Although I
just
feel,
came off as kind of a cartoonish villain, and the villains here
mm,
feel real. They're people who just go
right,
about their jobs, and it's which is very much how the Nazis behaved. Like, it's just normal
mm,
people going about their jobs, normalizing horrible things happening.
yeah, um, like there's commentary in like an earlier episode from like the doctors who are like, "What the fuck? This is we need actual procedure. You can't just shove all these sick people at us and think we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it like, I'll put it this way: this was what we got in this episode was so well handled that I didn't remember until like an hour or two later. Oh, there's no Oswald Danes in this.
Mm-hmm.
His plot is just entirely abandoned this episode because we have way too much other shit to do. Like,
I mean, there's
for
so
all I
many
know, we
other
might not
horrible
see him again for a
people.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and again, as I brought before as well, Oswald Danes is basically a Russell was able to, like, these writers were able to see into the future and predict like Trump's
Mm-hmm.
presidential stuff. Because like Oswald Danes does come off like the performance Bill Pullman is giving with him, which isn't relevant to this episode, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like feels very Trump. He's got similar hair, except he's got more of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like similar hair color, the way
Similar
he
ego,
speaks.
God complex.
Yeah, like even down to the way he like speaks, the way he like physically moves his mouth when he talks makes me think of Trump.
Mm-hmm. That kind
Like,
of
and he's
pouty,
like,
like, roar that he's trying to
yeah,
do.
yeah,
Or
like a
pinched
lot of that
expression.
is, yeah, it's like it's very like again. I think that's part of why this is aged so well, despite the fact that it was fairly eh, to crapped on at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So watching it for the first time personally, again, opening few episodes are a bit rough, but it picks up, which is
Mm-hmm.
better than starting off great and then it's all downhill from here.
Yeah.
We'll see if it sticks to landing or not. But anyway, moving on from that, we go to our least favorite overall aspect. So that's back to you, Aaron.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really have anything that I disliked too much in this episode. It's just kind of the overall mix of British and American production still feels kind of a little kind of off, a little bit lopsided maybe, where you got like the American
Mm,
action and then you have American action and then you have British action with like Reese driving the truck away. And American action is very much
mm,
personal, close up, people actually fisticuffs and fighting and strangling each other
yeah.
and stuff like that. Like it's a much more
Mm,
visceral violence. And like for example, like
yeah.
Reese even says that I'm not the type of person to run people over, and then there he goes
Mm.
trying to run through a gate. So, so there's
Yeah.
that British genteel, kind of feeling from some of the production still, and it doesn't quite mesh. I think Rex is the most blatant kind of Americanism type thing you see in the show, where he's very
Yeah.
blunt. He doesn't take crap. He's violent. He's had violence imposed upon him. He's constantly bleeding out of the chest
Mm,
wound and stuff. He's constantly
yeah.
popping pills in order to handle his pain and everything. So, and he's fed up with everybody around him because he's constantly in pain
Mm,
too. And he
yeah.
doesn't know, if things go back to normal, what happens to him. So there might be a little bit
Right.
of fear from him. So he's actually pretty, he's my least favorite character just because of how abrasive he is. But at the same
Mm,
time, he's also one of the more complex characters we have in the show. And that if you
yeah.
stop and you think, like just now, I'm stopping and I'm thinking, well, what is this dude going through? He's got a chest wound that's never healing, that he's in constant pain from.
Mm,
He's just seen the love of his life die horribly being incinerated in an oven, very reminiscent
yeah.
of the Nazis and everything. Something that
Mm,
and he's working for the CIA, which has a shady kind of, it's a shady organization to begin
yeah.
with. So now he's probably got a lot of self doubt as to who he's been working for the whole time.
Yeah.
Whereas he thought he was, this, American hero, like get it done, no matter what on that. So
Yeah.
it's like the more I think about it, the more I kind of enjoy his character a little bit more. especially since he shows like
Mm.
Esther some tenderness. But that's off on a lot. That's a huge tangent. But
Yeah.
like, there's this kind of weird mix of British and American production that
Mm.
doesn't quite meld completely.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit awkward. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
That's
just
fair.
me.
Mm. I think maybe it's like because it's probably being primarily written by people from the UK. I think they might have got some US writers in. I'd have to track down all the writers for it, but it could be a matter of that. But also, it was a co-production between the BBC and Stars, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's US. A lot of US actors starring in something written by predominantly, I would assume, British writers.
It also
So
feels
that
like a larger
that
production
could
too.
be,
Like more money was pumped
mm,
into it.
yeah, yeah. So it might be like that's where part of the disconnect is it's like, and in a way, that also might be part of the disconnect if there is a mix of writers of like you got writers from the US writing how they normally would rather
Mm-hmm.
than writing or Torchwood and then Russell or whoever having to come in and tweak it to fit Torchwood. um or something like that if that happened. But anyway, for me, my least favorite overall aspect would be the fact that like the stuff with Esther goes on for so long. Like I don't hate it, so this is mostly a
Mm-hmm.
nitpick, but the fact that she keeps going back and forth to that guy over and over and over and he doesn't catch on is
Oh
really
yeah.
weird.
It's just like,
Cuz
why are
she's
you
not
still
she's
like?
not great at
Yeah, she's.
it.
It's like, and that's what's really frustrating because Gwen comes off as this super badass, like, yeah, I can
Yeah.
do this and I can get away with all of this shit. And no one, like, she should have been
Mm.
Gwen should have been kicked out of that tent like ages ago and arrested for not being a
Yeah.
nurse. Like, you
Right.
don't act like a nurse. Where are your credentials here?
Yeah.
And
It's
like,
the thing
but
of like it's the thing of like Gwen's carrying it, doing the whole like if if you act like you're supposed to be there, no one will bat an eye
mm-hmm,
kind of logic. Whereas Esther is constantly looking around. Which, to be fair, she's new to this,
mm-hmm,
so there is that aspect of it. But the fact
yeah.
that she keeps going back to that guy over and over and over again,
And she
I'm
doesn't
like,
like bother trying to ask Coltrane about it all. She just like goes up to
mm,
Maloney constantly. But I guess maybe she would go up to
yeah,
Maloney because he's her boss, and it would be maybe more
yeah.
suspicious if she talked to Coltrane.
Probably, yeah. Also, it's just hard to seemingly get him alone,
Okay.
because they're basically constantly hanging out. Like post killing Juarez, they're basically inseparable. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're following each. Like he's following the guy running things around like a bad smell. So like it's hard to corner one without having to deal with the other. But it's also just like she's floundering so much that it's so weird that it takes him until the scene where they have a fight
Mm-hmm.
for him to realize, oh, you've been bullshitting me this whole time. Like, yeah, he's panicked, and maybe he's just reading it as, oh, she's just super nervous,
Well, and also remember
rather
he's
than
sexist too. Like he probably
right,
legit
yeah,
thinks that she doesn't have the brain capacity
right,
to like see through him. Like she's just being this
right.
dumb blonde.
Right. I mean, they are like after the first scene where she barges in on them, they kind of freak out, but then that goes nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you would think that he would have been suspicious, but oh well.
Or perhaps start moving their meeting space to a more isolated location.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, it's like again, it's more of a nitpick because it didn't like take me out of the episode at all, but just upon
Mm-hmm.
reflection, it's like you could have you could have cut out like two of those interactions where
Mm-hmm.
she's like trying and failing miserably to be convincing, and him just going along with it. Like if there wasn't as many, it wouldn't have been as noticeable.
Yeah, like it
Um,
almost comes off of kind of like with Gwen as well, even though she's like more experienced with this, it kind of almost comes off as plot armor. Like she hasn't been
yeah,
caught because the plot can't allow her to be caught yet, so.
right.
Oh,
So
I
that,
actually have a list of the writers, by the way. So Russell T Davies, of
yeah,
course, is British Welsh. We've got Jane Espenson, who is the co-executive producer and writer, who is American. John Sheban is
ah,
American. John Fay is British, English. Jim Danger Gray is American, and Ryan Scott is who's American. So three Americans and two British people were
ah,
on the writing team. So, but that doesn't
mm,
account for like for
right.
directors and stuff and like
Yeah, yeah,
production
yeah,
companies involved too. So,
yeah. And I would assume Russell was basically acting as script editor on this.
yeah, he's head
So
writer or listed as head writer.
yeah, yeah. So it wouldn't shock me if he was script editing stuff. So like, just to make it mesh between the different writing backgrounds. Um, but yeah. So moving on from there, we go to favorite scene. So Aaron, what's yours?
Hmm.
And this is going to be interesting because for me personally, there are a few. So
Yeah, I'm
like
actually.
this is
I already went through like Jack confronting Owens, so we already talked about that.
I mean, if you want, I can go first to get mine out of the way to narrow it down a little.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Yeah. Uh, I'm going to go with, and again, there are a few that come to mind first, but I'm going to go with the scene of Esther and Rex in the car after uh, Rex has been rescued,
Hmm.
and specifically the line that he tells her it is fine to feel this way, like effectively validating the fact that she's having a mini breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
That is like, I mean, yeah, we've just went through some horrible shit. Your feelings are totally justified. Like he does tell her to like effectively like, sort of suck it up and that, but he at least leads with, well, I basically take that as like feeling this way is totally understandable, but we've got shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
So sort of a get it out, suck it up, and then let's keep moving. Um and it's especially nice because like in one of the previous episodes, the one where they infiltrate the Core building,
Mm-hmm.
um he does go off at her for like the whole stuff with her sister. So having that moment of like giving her a little hug and a kiss on the forehead and that, and like telling her it's like, yeah, feeling like this is valid. You did sort of kind of kill a guy, um, only for him to sort of come back to life and have to get shot by the army dude.
Mm-hmm. And she
Um,
came really close to dying herself.
right, yeah. Like it's really only because that guy came along and shot him that she survived.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, like I generally liked that scene between
Yeah.
those two characters.
Yeah, it was really
Uh,
touching.
mm,
Now I've got a
so if you,
few of them. So I'm going to do the one where Gwen points out more of the institutional disconnect with the healthcare system when she confronts Dr. Alicia
Mm.
Patel. Gwen tells her what is going on, and the doctor coldly repeats the law to Gwen. Gwen notes that the doctor isn't there pulling the switch herself, and the doctor's like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" And like Gwen is like, "You say no.
Yeah.
You just say no."
Yeah.
And it's like for a lot of these middlemen type of people, like saying no is
Mm.
really hard for them because it means risking their
Yeah.
careers, risking like
Yeah.
what little money they've been able to earn extra than compared to what they'd done before, all this other stuff. So
Mm.
like it, you know, but it also means jeopardizing their own ethics and morals and stuff. And
Mm.
especially as a doctor,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
supposed to have really strong ethics about this.
Yeah. Like, especially like the line in that scene that sticks with me is the like, you need to stop calling yourself a doctor because you're not,
Mm-hmm.
sort of because like, yeah, the whole point is do no harm,
Mm-hmm.
and you are literally sending these people off to get burned alive.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've broken that oath. So like, you're not a doctor anymore at that point. If you willingly go along with that, because like, yeah, there's shades of gray of like, and like, to that end, I also love because it is such a, again, calling back to it, like a Nazi thing, that like Gwen stops her when she's about to say that she's just doing a job,
Yep.
and Gwen just like interrupts her and is like, don't you dare say that you were just doing your job.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, or just I'm doing as I'm told, sort of a thing. Like, it's like, I do love that, like, how pissed Gwen is at that point and near the end, because like, my other one would have also just been her blowing that building up. It was like, because at first it almost looks like Jack's reaction is like, oh fuck, did she do that? And then like his mood shifts to kind of laughing. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like, at first I'm almost thinking he's like, oh shit, this is going a bit further than I expected.
Yeah. Well, and it's just like, as we'll see in the next episode, or as they teased in the next episode, this is about right. He calls her his girl. That's my girl. And we'll
Mm,
see how absolutely that turns around. That takes a 180, and that
yeah.
where they start fighting again. Obviously, for obvious reasons.
Mm,
So.
yeah. So moving on from that to least favorite scene, which is definitely going to be a lot harder,
Mm-hmm.
I
I've got a
feel.
few. Like one we've already mentioned
Mm,
was Esther being really bad at the spy stuff.
yeah.
Um, I've got a few kind of things of like, how did nobody notice this?
Yeah.
But like, there's another one where Gwen kind of looks like a hypocrite. So do you want me to go into that one?
Mm, yeah.
So yeah, I've got the quote down. Don't you dare tell me you're just doing your job. Gwen goes to Dr. Patel. Gwen, my God, and then later on, or just almost right after that, she runs into Reese, and Reese is like, Gwen, my God, I was driving them to the ovens, and Gwen was just like, you were just doing your job.
Mm.
And
Well, I
that,
think it's, I think it's more she's saying that you didn't know,
yeah.
and
Like
he
there's
says, I
two
know
different
now.
versions of you're just doing your job. It's kind of a
Yeah.
nuance there, which is pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if I should even put that in my least favorite scene anyway.
Mm.
So
It
yeah.
is it is kind of odd timing to have that right after, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that. So I'm not quite sure if that's really my least favorite scene. There's another one where the guy in China is in China, and he blows the
Mm,
lock off of a chain link fence with his gun, and it's just like, he even has to turn away from the flash of it, and it's just like, how did
mm.
nobody hear this?
Yeah, that also, I was like, I didn't think he like silent. There's the whole thing of like, in real life silences do not work like that.
Mm-hmm.
If really at all, or at least the amount of noise reduction is not enough that it would work how it does in spy movies. But even by TV logic, he's basically just holding the gun out, puts his hand over the top of it, shoots, and
Yeah.
it like makes like far less sound. You're like, what?
How does this even operate? So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like how were there not alarms immediately going off?
I've got another one which is kind of
Um,
the same thing. If you don't mind me going into that, I can point that out too.
yeah, that's fine. I
It's
mean, like
basically
for
Rex.
as much as we were like rambling in the news section, we're like we're getting close, but we haven't fully hit 2 hours yet, so we're good.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going like extremely over.
I think I'm at 1 hour and 56 minutes right now, according to
Mm.
OBS. Okay, so we've got Rex punches out a guard, and the guard clatters to the ground loudly. How did nobody hear that?
Yeah, yeah, that's a similar thing, especially because he was standing with someone,
Mm-hmm.
and like, I mean, he does like radio immediately, but it is also kind of like the way they talk. It's it must be someone else
Mm-hmm.
rather than the guy that went around to look, because it's like, well, that's a bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like that he didn't just immediately go, "Hey, wait a minute."
Something's not right around here.
Yeah, it's a bit weird that like, I mean, I get that one guy had to stay behind, but you would think when he hears the clattering
Mm-hmm.
on the floor, like unless like it's loud, it's mixed loud for us,
Mm-hmm.
but like in the actual space, maybe with like the helmet on and all that, maybe there's like enough covering his ears that he couldn't quite hear it
Yeah.
compared to like the loud barrel banging on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But it is still a bit. I do remember even still thinking, well, that's a bit sus that he
Yeah.
doesn't immediately go, "Hey, wait a minute," and come looking. I mean, mind you, they immediately figure him out as soon as he gets outside the facility because it's like, we don't recognize your face. So,
Wait a second. Who are you?
um, yeah. So it doesn't get very far, but anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in terms of mine, I'm going to go with um I can never remember his name, but the guy who's running the facility.
Um. Um.
Um
Colin Mullaney.
yeah, Mulaney, like viewing the footage that Rex has, realizing that there's nothing that directly incriminates him in
Mm-hmm.
terms of like in terms of Juarez's death, like Juarez's death. There's nothing incriminating on him. It's all after that happened. There's nothing of like him dumping her body in there. Nothing.
Yeah. Like they don't have
He
evidence.
decides.
Yeah.
Yeah, he decides. I get he's paranoid. I get it. But there is nothing that links it back to that. Rex has no idea until he starts torturing him that he has, like, until he's about to,
Mm-hmm.
that Rex has any idea that he's the one who killed her. You could have just gone along with it, dude. What the hell are you doing? Like, it is so ridiculous. I'm like, I was just shouting at the TV the whole time, just like, what are you doing? There's no evidence that you did that. You could palm it off on the army dude
Mm-hmm.
if you really wanted. Because who are they going to believe? Some random cadet or whatever the hell
Mm-hmm.
he is. Like some low ranking dude.
It's just like you could
Or
easily just say
you.
we have no idea how she got in that area. We that wasn't even
Right.
supposed to be activated yet, or that
Yeah.
was still under construction, or it was a horrible like accidental mistake. It was
Mm,
malfunctioning.
yeah. Like, you could just palm it off on someone else or just not take blame and just say like, we don't know, so they have to look into it, but they're not going to find anything.
Yeah, like, oh, sorry, it
If
was an
they was,
unsolved murder.
yeah, and it would just go unsolved. Or like, if he's in high enough a position to be running one of these camps, the government would probably be willing to sweep it under the rug if
I
if they
mean, they're
really
already
wanted to.
sweeping the camps under the rug anyway.
Right. Yeah. So it's like they could have just or to that end, the thing that I'm surprised he doesn't do, because Rex is tied up, no one else is there, break it. Break the camera or take the tape out and break it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Suddenly, then all his evidence is gone. Ta-da!
It's just
Who's gonna believe him?
It's a crazy person.
Yeah.
Crazy
Like,
person. Then he could throw Rex into the oven too.
yeah. Like it's so funny that like, I mean, he probably wouldn't have gotten away with it anyway by virtue of that. But then they wouldn't have any footage, so they'd be back at the square one. So you would have like still fucked them over a little bit. So it's just so weird that he doesn't do that. I was so like annoyed and confused at that, of like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, destroy the camera and then turn him over to the feds. Be like, hey, this dude is sneaking around here. The feds or the army, probably the army, maybe. Just be like, hey, this guy's sneaking around in our camps here. We can't have this. He says he works for the CIA, you know.
Yeah.
CIA disowns him and he winds up in prison with a chest wound or ranting and raving about the stuff that's going on with Fyrehart.
Yeah. So from that we go to final thoughts. Aaron.
I don't really have too many final thoughts. I think I wrote down something here. Just because it's such a cut and dry episode, and then the twist at the end is just like, oh, you know, the romance is over between Jack and Gwen, I think. So, and
Thank
also, yeah, just thinking about, man, and this is so like today. It's just like, no matter how many gotcha moments you have, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to phase anybody. Like, well, yeah, but, you know, that was always going to happen, or, you know, there's no fighting this. You might as well just, you know, let this happen and stuff like that. The realization that nothing really changes with the exposure of the camps really hits hard. And everyone is angry about the Category 1 plan, but then everyone still goes along with it. Why isn't there a new civil war against the government and everything?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, any civilians that rise up are going to be grossly overwhelmed by the forces of of the U.S. Army, but still, you know, if this, you know, the fact that it's not a big enough deal to trigger a war with people in the government that's allowing this to happen shows that maybe the government's right, that people just don't care enough to fight back against it. Maybe they see the government's reasoning like, oh, well, this really is the only way this really is the only thing that can be done. At least I'm not going into the ovens right now. So, yeah, and that just like that really kind of sunk in. It's just, you see it all the time now with like the Iran war and the Epstein files and people just getting away with all kinds of bullshit, and it's really frustrating. Oh, and not to mention, you know, the trans and the gay communities and all the bullshit that's going on with that. So
yeah,
it's just distraction upon distraction. It's like it's all inevitable, so you might as well just give up and let us do what we want to do. There's no point fighting. So it's really just there to like break people's spirit. Like, even now that they're talking about the midterms and stuff, like, everyone was really hopeful about the midterms, and now that hope is kind of dwindling, especially with like the whole Supreme Court and the redistricting stuff, the Voting Rights Act. So yeah, it's just it really hits home, and that. So
Yeah.
Anyway, what'd you
Like,
think?
yeah, like I'll try to keep it brief because I've basically accidentally done my final thoughts already. But yeah, I would say this is far and away the best episode so far. I hope that this energy maintains.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really has just been getting like incrementally better and better. Um, so I really hope, and Doctor Who as a franchise generally is notorious for having like really good setup and then flopping.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Like even Torchwood itself, notoriously, every series finale is a letdown.
Mm-hmm.
even,
Yeah.
even if the one before it wasn't as much, like the actual final episode is usually a bit of a letdown. So fingers crossed that when we get to the end of this, it'll be um uh like it'll end on a better note. Um but yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised at the upswing that this has taken from like the early episodes where I was like, oh god, this is rough, to what we're at now. Um where I'm like, holy shit, I actually really want to watch the next episode. Like, I mean that did happen with Categories of Life as well,
Mm-hmm.
but like especially, I was wide awake after, and I was like, fuck, I really want to just keep watching, but it's after midnight, so I probably shouldn't. Um, uh, but yeah, with that, we move on to ratings. So Aaron, what are you giving this?
Originally, I was going to give it a 4.0 because it is a little bit more slow. Not as action packed as when they were going into invading or like stealing the whole Ocean's 11 episode that they did, which I thought was a lot
Yeah,
of fun. Um, but just talking it over with you and like all just how realistic this kind of comes down to and how they're ramping it up, I'm going to raise it up to a 4.5.
yeah, and I'm doing the same because this is so much better than I thought it was going to be going in. Like again, this is like this for me was maybe bordering on a 5, but I was like there's just enough. There is just enough that pulls it down that giving it a perfect mark would feel a bit weird. Um but otherwise it's like, if this continues, that'd be great because I have given this is now 3 in a row that I've given 4.5s to.
Hmm.
So, um, if we can keep in this territory, that'd be great. Like
Yeah.
if we can stay in like the 4 to bordering on 5 territory for the rest of it, that'd be great. Like so long as it doesn't constitute anything that would make me want to drop my rating below a 4,
Yeah.
I'm happy. So with two 4.5s, for the time being, we'll see what Bill's is
Mm-hmm.
uh, when they're back. But that puts it at just a solid 4.5, which
Oh shoot,
puts
I actually don't
it.
have an image for um
Yeah, because we're not using the Canva thing. Um,
yeah, so let me
I'm
look
just
up
doing it
the
digitally.
actual like our info here.
But yeah, that would put it in the range of likely being 92 out of seemingly now 500 things reviewed. What an interesting thing to cover for what is seemingly the 500th thing we've covered. Wow. Um, so that puts it on par with. Now,
There we go.
4.5 is one of the biggest ranges we've got, so I'm going to really I'm going to try to do what Bill usually does and limit this to basically just spin-offs. So it is on par with we'll go with TV only stuff. Goodbye Sarah Jane Adventures, Goodbye Sarah Jane Smith, Torchwood Meet, Sarah Jane Adventures The Nightmare Man, Torchwood Random Shoes, Sarah Jane Adventures Death of the Doctor. Let's see. I think that's it in terms of spin-offs. It is not as good as... I might potentially have to go a bit higher to find something. Sarah Jane Adventures, The Empty Planet. Sarah Jane Adventures, Whatever Happened to Sarah Jane. Torchwood Countryside. Torchwood To the Last Man. And what's another spin-off thing that's higher up? Torchwood Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And it is better than Torchwood The Ghost Machine, Torchwood Adrift. That kind of bothers me because Adrift is one of my favorite Torchwood episodes, but oh well. I mean, this is, again, very solid episode, but it does sort of bug me that Adrift is that low. Tortured Out of Time, another one that's actually really good. So I'm a bit disappointed it's that low. Sarah Jane Adventures The Man Who Never Was, Sarah Jane Adventures The Last on Taran, and Sarah Jane Adventures Lost in Time. So that is it for our review of The Middleman. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this week's episode if you've watched it. Don't forget to like the video if you've listened this far. Subscribe on YouTube to get our exports when they go up. Or follow us on Twitch to get notified when we stream next. Next time, we continue our watch through of Miracle Day with the next episode along, Immortal Sins, which is which is a name that I almost used for a thing that I still haven't written yet. So good to know that that's already taken. Written by Jane Espenson, who we did mention earlier, and starring John Barrowman as Captain Jack Harkness, Eve Miles as Gwen Cooper, Kai Owen as Reese Williams, Mickey Pfeiffer as Rax Matheson, not Rex, my bad, and Alex Havens as Esther Drummond. We will see you next time.